Allison Espech. I don't know why I make things so complicated. This book is so effing long. That didn't even make any sense. Hello book lovers, welcome back to the channel. My name is Steph, and in today's video, we will be doing a book haul. So this is going to be my monthly book haul for the month of August. August was my birthday month, so I did receive some gifts. So I will start with my book of the month and Arvark as usual. Then I will get into the gifts that I received, and then I will show you guys all of the books that I purchased. This haul is going to be a little bit smaller than my usual hauls because I am just trying to save money right now as I am on mat leave, and mat leave really does not pay you very well. So I am just trying to save a little bit of money, but also I have been loving reading all of the books on my TBR, so I'm trying not to add too many books to the TBR as well. And I am going on vacation, so I don't really want a ton of packages showing up at my house just to be sitting outside, as I wouldn't have anyone to bring them inside. So this is going to be a little bit of a smaller haul than I normally do for the month, but without further ado, let's get in, starting with my book of the month selections. So I did only pick 2 book of the month selections. One, because I have the credit for the month. I do pay for book of the month for the entire year because it does make it a little bit cheaper. So I did have my credit to use, and then book of the month does give me a free book for my birthday. So I did only get 2 book of the month selections. So my August pick for book of the month was The Wedding People. This is a contemporary fiction where we are following our main character, Phoebe, who shows up at this hotel where this wedding is taking place, and everybody mistakes her for one of the wedding guests, but she's actually one of the only people at this hotel that is not actually attending this wedding. Then it sounds like her and the bride form a friendship and they kind of confide in each other. So this does sound like it's going to be like very, very heartwarming. I have heard really good things about this one, so I am excited to pick this up. Then the book that I got for free because it was my birthday month is All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. This book I had no idea was so chunky. Like, this is such a big book. I don't know when I'm going to have the time to get to it, but again, I have heard absolutely nothing bad about this book. I have heard so many good things about it. Everyone that has been reading it has been absolutely loving it. This is a mystery and thriller where I believe we are following the disappearance of girls, and it is a serial killer, a mystery, a love story, all mixed into one. That is all I really know about it. I don't know when I'm going to get to it because again, it is very, very long. It is over 500 pages, but the chapters are super short because there is over 230 chapters in this book, so the chapters are definitely short, and I am very excited to get to this because I have heard nothing but good things. Then on to my Arvark picks. Arvark had a couple of books that I really, really wanted, so I did end up choosing 3 Arvark books. The first one is The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. This was very, very appealing to me because this author's other book, The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, was one of my all-time favorite books. I absolutely loved it. So I did want to give this author another chance as I didn't like his second book very, very much. I also don't think that this one has the greatest reviews, but it does sound like it is a mystery thriller with sci-fi elements. It does have to do with the end of the world, and that is kind of all I know about it. I am very happy to have this in my collection, and I'm very curious to see how I feel about it. I am reading this for my September TBR, so by the time that this video comes out, I would have already read this, so hopefully I did like it. Then, as promised, I did pick up Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. As you guys know, this is my favorite book that I have read so far this year. I absolutely loved it, and I really, really wanted my own copy. So I was very, very excited when Arvark did make this one of their selections for August. It was my birthday month, so it just happened to work out so well, and I am so happy to finally have a physical copy of this book. I can't wait to reread it so that I can annotate it, and I absolutely love this cover. For those of you who do not know, this is an adult horror novel, and we are following our main character, Misha, who is essentially working in Hollywood, and he has this show where the producers basically want him to kill off his gay characters. That is all I will tell you about it. It is absolutely incredible. Please do yourself a favor and read this book if you are in the mood for a good horror book. Then I picked up Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright. This is a fantasy romance, and I believe that it involves vampires, and that is all I needed to know about it when I wanted to pick it up. The cover is absolutely stunning, and I am very, very excited to get to this. It also is a debut novel, so I'm very curious to see how I feel about it. I don't know if people have been loving this book or hating it. I haven't really heard many people talking about it, so I am excited to get to it. So then I have two books here that were gifts from two of my all-time favorite people on BookTube. I love both of these people so, so much, and I am forever grateful for them. I cannot say how absolutely appreciative I am of them and them sending me a gift. They truly do not know how much that means to me. So I just want to shout their names from the rooftops. I absolutely love them so, so much, and it was so kind for them to send me something. So the first book that I have here is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. So this was sent to me by my bestie Bailey over at Bailey Nicole Reads. She is such a kind human. She is also one of my oldest friends here on BookTube. We used to run like a book club together, which I miss so, so much, but bestie Bailey did send me When the Moon Hatched, and this is another really, really chunky book. I don't know when I'm going to get to this, but every single person that I have seen talking about this book has absolutely loved it, so I hope that I feel the exact same way, and I am so, so thankful and grateful for Bailey for sending me this for my birthday. And then the second person who sent me a book was Rochelle over at Good Morning Dreamer. Again, I will leave both of their channels linked down below. If you are not subscribed to either one of them, please do yourself a favor and subscribe. They are literally some of the best people that I have met here on BookTube, and I absolutely love them both. And Rochelle did send me Spark of the Everflame, which is book 1 in the Kindred Curse saga. This is by Penn Cole, and the only thing I know about this is that it is a fantasy and that every single person that I hear talking about it absolutely loves it. So I did add it to my wish list because I am so, so curious to see what everybody is talking about. I am getting FOMO from not reading this book, so I'm very, very excited to get to this, and I am so, again, very thankful and grateful to Rochelle for sending this my way. And then very quickly, I do have some romance books. So the first one that I have is This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. This is book 2. I believe the first one was Before I Let Go. Again, another series where I have heard nothing but good things. I feel like I have heard nothing bad about either one of these books, so when I did see this, I knew that I wanted to pick it up. I have yet to read book 1 still, but I am very excited to have both of them on my shelves. The next book I picked up was on a recommendation by one of my besties, Valisa, and that is The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. She was reading this on sprints one day, and she said that she was absolutely loving it, that this was one of her like all-time favorite romances, or it was giving those vibes to her while she was reading it. So this is a romance. It sounds like both of our main characters are neighbors, and the female main character kind of enlists her neighbor's help in order to like get a date, but she doesn't realize that he is actually the author that she has been corresponding with secretly. So this sounds like it's going to be very, very cute. I don't know if I have to read Christina Forrest's other books before I can jump into this one, but if you do know, let me know down below in the comments. But I'm very excited to get to this. I feel like this will be a perfect summer read and a very good palate cleanser, as it sounds very, very cute. Then another book that has gotten so much hype and that everybody seems to love, so I definitely wanted to pick myself up a copy, and that is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This is another romance, but I do believe that this is a very hard-hitting romance. I feel like everybody absolutely loves this book. This is part of the Boys of Toman series. This is book 1, and again, everybody has been absolutely loving it. This is a very, very long book, so it is quite intimidating. I know it doesn't look very long, but the font inside is super small, and the pages in this are super, super thin, so I feel like this is going to take a very long time. This is a romance. I don't know if I mentioned, it is a romance between two characters, one that is described as like very broken, and the other that's described as like wanting to save her. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of hard-hitting topics within this, and again, everyone has been absolutely loving this book. So I am excited. I did have FOMO, and I really, really want to get to this soon, but I am a little bit intimidated because it is quite long. Then I picked up A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. For those of you who know me, you know that Divine Rivals is one of my all-time favorite books that I read this year, and probably one of my all-time favorite books ever. So I did want to start reading some of Rebecca Ross's backlist. So I did see that this was available and I did pick it up. This sounds like it is a fantasy, but it has a mystery element. It is about girls that are going missing. And one of our main characters, Jack, has to come back to the town as he seems to be the only one that is able to solve the case of these missing girls. And yeah, very excited to get to her backlist. I do believe that this has a sequel, and I don't know if it's just a duology, but I would be very curious to see how I feel about this. I do really like Rebecca Ross's writing, so I'm excited to jump into this. Then a book I already read, but I really liked it, so I did want it for my collection, and that is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. This is a YA fantasy. It is like a heist story, and it is essentially following our main character who has a tea house, but it turns into an illegal blood house by night. There's vampires involved. It is like a very fun story. I do believe that it is going to be a duology, so another one is coming out in this series, so I did want to have this for my collection. I may do a reread where I will annotate it because I did listen to it on audio the first time, but I absolutely love this cover and I did really enjoy this story, so I'm happy to have this for my collection. The next book that I picked up is The Measure by Nikki Erlich. This has a very cool concept. I just heard about this book very recently. I believe Gabby over at Gabby Reads really ended up liking this book, and the concept of this is very cool. It sounds like it is following 8 different people who wake up one day, walk outside, and notice that there is a wooden box outside their door. And in this wooden box, it does tell you the number of years that you will live for. So I absolutely love the concept of stories like this. It depends on how it is executed, so I am hoping that I like the execution of this one, but I absolutely love the concept. I really like books where people kind of know their fate, so then they live their life based on that, and it kind of shows you the different ways that certain people would live their lives knowing that type of information. So I am hoping that the execution of this book is done really well because the concept of it sounds super good. And coming up to the end of this haul, the last 2 books that I have are both horror books. So the first one that I have to talk about is Devolution by Max Brooks. This is a horror novel where we are following the story of a person's recounting of their experience with a Sasquatch. So it sounds like it is told from journal entries of this person who's had an experience with the Sasquatch. And it says on the inside that it is part survival narrative, part bloody horror tale, part scientific journey into the boundaries between truth and fiction. This is a Bigfoot story as only Max Brooks could chronicle it, and like none you've ever read before. So I feel like the reviews on this book aren't the greatest on Goodreads, so I am very curious to see how I will feel about this, but it definitely is something that sounds very intriguing, and I am excited to have this for my collection. And finally, the last book for this August book haul is going to be Daphne by Josh Malerman. I just read Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman and absolutely loved it, so I did see this book and thought that it would be perfect for me to pick up as I did really vibe with Josh Malerman's writing. This is another case where I feel like not a lot of people have been loving this book, so I am going to be very curious to see how I feel about it. So this sounds like it is going to be a slasher horror where we are following Daphne, who is basically haunting this basketball team in high school. And that is all I know about it. I don't think that a lot of people have been loving this book, but I am very curious to see, as I did really just enjoy a Josh Malerman. So I am excited to pick this up eventually and also be able to have this on my shelves. So that is it for my August haul. I hope you guys all enjoyed seeing all of the books that I got in the month of August. Let me know down below in the comments which book you are most excited for me to pick up from this haul, or let me know any of these books that you have read that I should try to prioritize or that you just really enjoyed. That is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did make it to the end of this video, leave me any of the birthday emojis to represent my birthday in the month of August. If you did like today's video, please hit that thumbs up like button, and as always, if you are new here, I would love to have you stick around, so please hit that subscribe button and I will see you guys all in my next one. Bye!